Good day, everyone, and welcome to our sessions for today. So, today we will be talking about it's time to sleep. It's time to sleep, right? And this topic will revolve around what is sleep, why is sleep important, how many hours should we sleep, and what are the factors affecting our good sleep. Okay, so today we would like to ask you the names of the attendees for today. So,
My name is Azuldir Zamora.
and
My name is Abhishek Zamora.
okay. So, before I start, can I ask for a prayer? Sir? A short prayer?
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this wonderful evening day that you have given to us, and thank you for the blessing that you have given us today, and please keep us safe in this dear vessel. In His name, pray, amen.
Alright, so it's time to sleep. So our topic evolves on what is sleep. So now what is sleep? So sleep in scientific terms is sleep is the state where neurons on the brainstem produce neurotransmitters that such as serotonin and dopamine that keep some parts of the brain active while awake. So in the sleep phenomenon, this serotonin and others will eventually pretend to be shut down. So that is the what happens in our sleep. So resulting in the period of reduced activity and decreased responsiveness to the external stimuli. So and then in the layman's terms, sleep is we cannot feel anything, right? When we sleep, we lie down in bed, close our eyes, and eventually we'll wake up in the morning, right? So there are 5 stages of sleep. Okay, so the stage 1 sleep. So stage 1 sleep is sleep cycle that is the lightest stage of sleep. The EEG brain frequency is slightly slower during the wake up time. So sleep is the partial sleep that we the often before we start. So when we close our eyes, right, we tend to feel like it is light around us, but we can eventually wake up due to noises and stuff. That's what we call the stage 1 sleep, in which our body is still responsive to other external stimuli. So we are disturbed immediately. So that is the stage 1. So stage 2 is a deeper kind of sleep. So stage 2 usually follow the stage 1, of course. So and it represents deeper sleep. During stage 2 sleep, the sleeper is less able to be awakened. So the stage 2 sleep is characterized by sawtooth waves and sleep spindles. So this sleep is next to stage 1, in which it is harder for us to be awake. So but there is still a chance that we could be awakened, but it is a small percentage. So it is we cannot explain this personally because this part that we are already asleep. So that's what we call the stage 2. The stage 3 and stage 4 sleep. This is the part in which we cannot really be awakened already. So in stage 4 sleep cycle progressively deeper, and then some studies have demonstrated that very loud noises, sometimes over 100 decibels, will not awaken some during the SWS. What is the SWS? The slow wave sleep. So this is the part when we have deep sleep that we cannot be awakened anymore. So we will be just awakened eventually when the morning comes, and our body is already active and we wake up. Okay, so do you have any questions so far? Okay. So, and the last stage is the stage 5 sleep, or the REM sleep. So this is the phase of the sleep in which we are dreaming. So this is the part of the sleep where our mind is being when we sometimes when we wake up in the morning, we go to our parents and then tell them, "Ma, I dreamt of this yesterday. Last night. I dreamt of this last night." Then that is what we retain. So that is the stage in which we call the stage 5 sleep, which is the REM sleep. Okay? Now, how many hours sleep do we need? So, sleep hours depends on our age. But it's recommended for you adolescents
Yes.
that to have 8 to 10 hours of sleep a day. So, so I consider you as adolescents as you are, how old are you?
15.
15 and
13.
13. Okay? So, it is recommended for you adolescents to have 8 to 10 hours of sleep. But let us review the other age groups in which how many hours will they sleep. So, so in the age group of infants, it's recommended to have 12 to 16 hours. And 1 to 2 years old to have 11 to 14 hours. And then 3 to 5 years old, 10 to 13 hours. And then 6 to 12 years old, 9 to 12 hours. And then you adolescents now, 13 to 18 years old is 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And then adults have 7 or more hours a night. Okay? So why is sleep important? So sleep is important for survival, of course. So when we do not sleep, it is risky for our health. So we need to have sleep, proper sleep, and more mental health. So sleep is important because it will be affect our minds and our decision making and our emotions. So and then growth, of course. So when you sleep, our especially in your stages in adolescence, is important. This is important for your growth. Okay, so now we have learned what is sleep, and then how many hours will we sleep and the stages of sleep. Now let us distinguish why sleep is important by determining if the example is important. So I will give you a flashcard. You will raise the flashcard when I put when I put a word on the screen. So you will determine if it is an example of why is it important is sleep. Okay. So, determining the example is important. So, I will give you flashcards. Okay? Okay. So, the flashcard is yes or no. So, you have any questions before we start?
No.
Okay. You would raise yes or no if you determine if it is important. Why important is sleep? So, is sleep important in health? Yeah. Yes, so sleep is important in health due to, as I said earlier, with our bodies and refreshment of our bodies. Okay, environment. What is sleep? What do you think? Is sleep important to our environment? Yes. So it's important in our environment due to us being awake all the time, the industrialization we do. So yeah, it is important for us to sleep. Okay, so attitude. So is sleep important to our attitude? Yes, of course. As I said earlier, it is important. So attitude is under the mental health. So as if we sleep more or we sleep in the appropriate time, we could be more rational and we will be less narrow-minded. Okay? So, okay, is games. Is sleep important in our games? No. Why do you think? No.
Wait.
Why do you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have any if it is yes or no? Why is it no?
No, because sometimes other people still play games at midnight and they will have less sleep than
Alright. So why do you think it is a yes?
Yes, because sleep can, being not asleep in our games, it can affect our attitude like a while ago in our mental health. Then it also can damage our health because by playing games and not sleeping, and not sleeping right and playing games is not good for our health because it can destroy us.
Okay. So there are different opinions of games. So next, hunger. Do you think sleep is important for our hunger? Do you think when we sleep we alleviate the hunger? We can remove the hunger? Do you think?
Yes,
Yes? Why do you think?
because while being asleep, we can feel hunger because if we're awake, we use energy, so That's why we feel hunger at in the day.
Oh, so you're saying it's a temporary solution. So, but when we wake up, do sleep? Do sleep remove our hunger? When we already after we sleep, we wake up. The hunger is the hunger removed?
No.
No.
Okay.
Because
It is a very tricky question to discuss. So we have different opinions on how sleep is important. Okay. So next, learning. Is sleep important for our learning?
Yes.
oh yes.
Okay, so we say unanimous. So when we sleep, we can understand more. We could learn more. Okay? So, okay, do you have any other opinions in what I have said? No, right? No? Okay, so let's continue. So, mental health.
Yes.
It's obvious, right? As I mentioned it earlier that sleep is important for our mental health. Okay? Now, what are the factors affecting our sleep? So, the factors affecting our sleep is our sleep schedule, our sleeping environment, and drinking too much caffeine or alcohol, or drugs, and snoring. So, why do you think? While snoring is normal, excessive snoring can affect the partner, the sleeper. So this type of snoring may be a symptom of obstructive sleep apnea. So there are cases in which sleep is affected by our snoring, and then obviously sleep disorders are factors of why we cannot sleep well. So and and mental health disorders. Of course, when one of the mental health disorders in which is depression, we cannot sleep, right? We are we awake and we cannot sleep at all when we have mental health disorders. Okay, so based on your newfound knowledge, describe what you think is a perfect sleep. Okay, so who would want to describe first, or describe what do you think is a perfect sleep? Okay, Mr. What's your name? Azul. Mr. Azul.
Briefly, a perfect sleep for me is by sleeping in the right hours and also waking up in that same hour. Because if we oversleep, we can feel tired along the day, and if we lack like 1 hour of sleep, our mood can change and in every way. That's why our attitude can also be
Okay.
affected.
Okay. So, Mr. What's your name?
Sure.
Michelle, what's your opinion? How can you describe a perfect sleep?
Perfect sleep for me is like the same thing that you said, like sleeping in the same hours as as you said earlier, and not waking up in the middle of the night.
So, based on your the answers that you've given, it's a perfect sleep starts with a good starting sleep hour. Okay, so there are many ways to describe a perfect sleep. Like, oh, I have sleep this amount of hours and I feel refreshed, or I have my favorite pillow with me, so I had a perfect sleep. So based on what you have said, two of you have described on how do you describe a perfect sleep is a perfect sleep is having the right time in which you would sleep and the right time in which you would wake up. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So next is, are you having a good or bad sleep? So although more and more people consider that they don't sleep well, a good night's sleep is actually measured both in terms of quantity and quality. So quantity means the length of our sleep, and the quality in which waking up early during the night or problems falling asleep. So specialists have tried to quantify a good night's sleep through numerous recommendations, including spending 85% of your time in bed asleep and having sleep phase of less than 30 minutes and only waking up to a total of 20 minutes, waking up for a total of 20 minutes during the night. So, there are studies in which how to describe a good or bad sleep. Okay, so so now to analyze on how we think, I would like to test test you today on how you think. What's the difference of a good and a bad sleep? So I would give you time for today to create a Venn diagram in which you could differentiate a good and bad sleep. Okay, so I will give you a piece of paper in which you would write already a Venn diagram in which you would write a good or a bad sleep. So in the middle you would just put sleep. Okay, so we are only finding in the Venn diagram which is the differences. Okay, so just put sleep in the middle of the Venn diagram. Okay, okay, I'll give you about 5 minutes and to make that. Okay. So you could put as much as you can. Okay, put as much as you can. Is it spacious enough? So should I remove some of the things that you've used already so you could have more space? Okay. There's still a lot of time. Take your time. Okay. Okay, done? Are you done? Are we good? Okay, so let us I would like to hear what do you how do you differentiate a good and a bad sleep? Okay? Would you like to go first, Mr. Azul?
For me, what I have wrote is having a bad sleep is not having a comfortable bed or somewhere to sleep.
Okay.
And a bad sleep is also waking up in between your sleep time and having loud noises and distractions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and for a good sleep, for me, a good sleep is having no one to disturb you and having a good place to sleep and not waking up night and having a wonderful dream.
That's great. So I would like to hear Mr. Abhishek's opinion on what is a good and bad sleep.
For me, a bad sleep is oversleeping
Okay.
and a problem sleeping each night. And
Can you make your voice louder so we could hear it?
problem sleeping and waking up from noises like in the midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, a good sleep is having a perfect amount of sleep each day
Okay.
and uh, having a comfortable bed.
Okay. So is that
Yes.
okay? So you're finished. Okay. So I have noticed in both of your answers and how you differentiate a good and bad sleep. So can I have your paper? So I've noticed that you both have written that having a good sleep is having a comfortable bed. So and having a good sleep is having the right amount of sleeping hours and that no disturbance or noises. So I have also noticed that both of you wrote that having a bad sleep is having disturbance and not having the enough sleep or waking up prematurely at night before. So you would prematurely wake up and then it would be hard to take a sleep again. So I have noticed that both of you have similar opinions on how what is a good and a bad sleep. So it is nice that I have seen a similarity in between your answers. So okay, let us move on. So yeah, I would like to suggest some examples of some good sleeping habits. So, yeah. So some good sleeping habits. So good sleeping habits has a wide variety of it. So this is just some of the examples. So one is set a consistent sleep schedule. So in consistent sleep schedule, if you want to sleep at 8 p.m., you should always sleep at 8 p.m. because it would you should make it a lifestyle. So it would be hard if you want to sleep at 8 p.m. but you sleep at 10 p.m. or even 12 p.m. Oh, 12 a.m. To correct myself. So set a consistent sleep schedule. Now next is create a regular bedtime ritual. So let me ask you, do you have a bedtime ritual?
No.
Yeah. Personally, I have a bedtime ritual. So I always when I go to bed, I always do it. I always stack two pillows and then I lie down sideways, and then that would eventually make me make me feel sleepy. So that is one of my bedtime rituals. So get regular exercise. Of course, if we have regular exercise, we would feel tired and we would feel the need of sleep. Okay. So keep a healthy diet, same as the regular exercise, and healthy dieting what we eat, what we intake, because the much more heavier things that we take, we would eventually. So for example, having too much chocolate, we would gain more carbohydrates, in which the carbohydrates converts to our energy, in which we could not feel asleep. So the carbohydrates should be digested and taken out. So it is connected to our regular exercise. So in exercising, we eliminate this energy. We eliminate the energies that are being produced by our what we eat. So limit caffeine and avoid nicotine. So caffeine is a substance that would make us feel awake, right? Like in coffee, and then nicotine is almost the same thing, but it is in cigarettes. So it is I said that limited, but if we can eliminate, it is very good. But if we are using we intake caffeine and nicotine, so we should limit it to have a better sleep. So we should avoid alcohol as well. So, but some may reason that alcohol makes them asleep, that they feel drunk, they feel asleep, right? But actually in the long run is really not beneficial for our sleep. We might not feel it that night when we drink, but we will eventually feel that the results of what we intake that night or that day. Okay, so keep our nap short. So why do I say keep our nap short? Because when we keep our naps long, for example in the afternoon when we take a nap, we will eventually
Yeah.
be awake in the evening. So when we take too much time in napping, we negate the time in which we would uh, burn our energy for us to be able to feel sleepiness. So drowsiness in eventually sleep. So next is use your bedroom for sleep only. So because it is in the orientation of our body, if we only use our bedroom to sleep, is in the orientation of our body in which okay, example. So what is the orientation of our body when we eliminate feces or our pee, right? What place does our mind what place do we think first? What do you think?
But
Hmm? In which when we think about when we want to take a piss or eliminate feces in our body. So what place do you think first? Comfort room, right? Comfort room, the restroom, right? So it is the same with how we sleep. So when we use our bedroom for sleep only, we eventually adapt ourselves that our bedroom is for sleeping. So when we want to sleep, we eventually think of the bedroom. Okay. So next, now after learning that some of the good sleeping habits, I would like you to explore more. If you would like to explore more of it, you could search or whatever. So now I would like you to create a one stanza poem about good sleeping habits. So you would create a one stanza poem or four line poem in which you would present good sleeping habits. Okay? So I would flash the good sleeping habits examples here. So you could explore more if you have your phones. You could search some more good sleeping habits. So I would give you time. I would give you index cards in which you would write because it would be so because you would present it. Okay. So here's yours. Here's yours. Okay. Okay. So I will give you time in which you would write a four-line poem. So it could be free. It could be a free line. It could be free line or it could be rhyming. Okay. I'm not restricting on how you should write your poem. Okay. Okay. I will be, please take your time in writing. Anything that you like. You could use a pen. You could use a pencil. You could use whatever you're comfortable with. let's wait if for Mr. Bishop. Okay. Just tell me if you're finished, okay? So we can start our presentation. Remember, a poem, a one stanza poem is a 4-line poem. Okay. Okay. So, are you finished?
Yes.
Okay. So, could you start reading your poem for us?
Is this okay that I read more?
Okay. It's I could consider it. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Can you stand up and read your poem for us? Can you stand here?
A good sleep.
Can you face us? Okay.
A good sleep. A way of getting away of tiredness and stress, as it makes our body relaxed and calm. As we feel our body, as our body fall asleep, our body will feel like it's floating. And as we drift away, we'll feel calm, and the feeling will make our day more exciting.
Okay, so let's give him a round of applause. Okay, Mr. Soldier, can you present us your poem? Here in front.
The poem that I did is it's the habit of having a good schedule
Okay.
of sleeping. So the title of the poem is Let's Sleep.
Okay.
It's a tiring day. We should go to our bed and lay and give our body a good energy for tomorrow's work and play.
Okay. Give him a round of applause, everyone. Yeah. So, when I listen to your poem, it is wonderful that we have our own interpretations in how we create, and that's the beauty of creating poem, and especially it's an art. It's an art in which how we express ourselves. Okay. So let me listen. Thank you very much. Now let us move on. Now. Okay, so a lack of sleep at night can make you cranky the next day. So it's obvious that we have discussed it earlier. And over time, skipping on sleep can mess more than just your morning mood. Study shows that getting quality sleep on a regular basis can help improve all sorts of issues, from your blood sugars to your workouts. And having a good sleep helps in having sharper brain and mood boost, healthier heart, and better mental health. So, in short, that as I have said earlier, in having a good sleep, it helps in our survival growth and our mental health. And having lack of sleep affects them all. Okay, so now, based in your learning, assess yourself if you have been having a good or bad sleeping habit. So, I'd like you to describe or assess yourselves personally, and if you're having a good or a bad sleep, and then tell me why. Okay? So who would like to go first? Okay. Sir Azuljer,
For
can you
me,
stand up?
For me, I think my routine my sleeping routines,
Yes.
I think is I'm having a good sleep
Okay.
because I always um, wake up at 7
Okay.
and I sleep at 9.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Abhishek, how can you stand up and tell us your assessment of yourself?
For me is it's mostly bad sleep
Bad sleep.
because
Yeah.
our neighbors always is always noisy at the middle of the night, as which I don't like.
Oh, yeah. As you have said earlier, right? In having a bad sleep is there's the disturbance and
Yes.
noise. Okay. So, you have more to say, or can we continue?
That's
That's all. Okay. So thank you very much. So, not all of us are having a having good sleep habits. So, are having a good sleep or perfect sleep as we described. So there are as we have discussed earlier that the factors is really affecting if we have having a good or a bad sleep. Okay. Now the strict definition of a good night's sleep is to wake up just once during the night. So it is a minimum. So just once during the night and can be awake in less than 20 minutes. More flexible characterization allows for a 3 wake-ups on the condition that we awake time doesn't exceed more than 30 minutes. So, this is the conditions in which we still have a good sleep. We may not sleep the whole night. I mean, we may not sleep straight. Right? Thank you. We sleep straight. We will wake up. There's the criteria in which we could still consider it a good sleep. Okay, now, nothing the our activity, could I ask you to ask your parent or guardian why proper sleeping habit is good for the health? And then I would like you to create a short summary in their answers. So, if their answer is short, you could make your summary really short, in which I would just like to have the opinion of the parents. Okay, so I would give you time to go and ask your parent or guardian. Go. Yes, I get you. I'm gonna go to your seat, and I would like to have your short summaries. Could you write it in your paper? Yes. Short summary. Okay, that's fine. You write a short summary of the answer of your friends. I would assume that both your answers would be the same. So I would just be calling one because I would assume that both of your answers would be quite similar because you're both brothers, right?
Yes.
So you have only one parent. So yeah, I would just call one of you to read the summary of the answer of your parent. Are you finished, Mr. Abhishek? Okay, I would wait for you. Just tell me if you're finished. Okay. Mr. Sudo, can you read the summary later after Abhishek is finished with his writing this? Ayan. Okay, Mr. Abhishek, can you stand in front and then tell us the summary of the answer?
So what I have learned from my parents, or like the summary of this, is by having a good sleep and good habits and good sleeping schedules, can improve our energy during the day and not being so moody and irritated in every actions of others, and our mental health can be um, preserved and be healthy.
Okay, let me ask you a question now. How is it the answer of your parents similar to our discussion for today? Have you noticed the similarities?
Yes,
So,
because our topic for this session
yes.
and the answer of my guardian and my parent is having a good habits by sleeping in time, and every sleeping habits
Okay.
is it can improve our health and also can give us a good mood in each day that we work and
So, yeah, I am so happy that the answer of the guardian is really similar to what we have been talking for today for our session. So, in really good sleeping habits awards us with good mental health, good health, and a bright attitude and more energy to consume in the day. Okay. So next. Okay. Now, for our last activity for today, I would like you to get your mobile phones. Okay, so I'd like you to get your mobile phones, and I would like you to set an alarm for the week. An alarm in which what time would we sleep on a Monday, what time would we sleep on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and a Friday, and a Saturday, Sunday. So let us. I would like you to consider the days of your classes, or what work would you do. I would like you to really fit in the time in which what time you would sleep in that particular day. Okay? Okay. Good. You could start now. So wait for Sir Ma. Are you done? Okay, I would like you to present your. So what have you put in your alarms?
for me, what I did is I just set one time, but it's every day
Okay.
because my schedule is because I go to school. My schedule every day is always the same. Then
Okay.
I have my itineraries.
All right.
That's why I put it. It's supposed to be 9, but it's just sometimes I go 9:30.
Okay. So what time did you?
The time that I put is 9:30 p.m. So I can sleep that time every day,
Okay. So
every night. I mean.
so considering all your schoolwork, your assignment, so you would like that every 9:30 p.m. you should be asleep. Okay, Mr. Chef, what would you put in your schedule?
It's actually the same as his. Like, I've set mine at 9 to 9:30, to sleep and waking up like 7 to 8.
Okay, so you put as well
Yes.
7 to 8. So do you not have a particular day in which I know I would sleep later that night. So there's no nights like that
Only on weekends.
on weekends. What do you think?
I added like a um yeah 10 to 11 and waking up like at 9 to 9:30.
So in the weekends you tend to sleep later.
Yes.
To
Yes,
to
free
for free time and some entertainment, right? So it's really important that we have our scheduling of our time on what we sleep. As I said earlier, in the having a good night sleep, the factors in which we should have a set amount, set time in which we would sleep. All right. So uh, I have noticed that you all have your particular times in which you would like to sleep. So I would just like that you to consider that the total amount of sleep hours that we need, and then the factors around us that is affecting our sleep. So thank you. That is all for our session for today. And then I would like to thank you for your cooperation in creating the wonderful poems, the great ideas that you have shared with me today. I thank you, Mr. Azuljar, Mr. Abhishek, for attending and giving me some of your opinions in some matters. So I would like just to remind you today that we should always remember that our sleeping habits, the factors influencing it, are really affects and what us human beings are our internal health. So it sleep affects our health, our mental health, and the people around us as well. So thank you very much for today, and then that's all. And I would like to read our prayer for us, a short prayer, okay? Okay, let's pray. Our dear God and Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that we have finished our session for today, and may all of our learnings be blessed by you, dear God, and forgive us all our sins. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so thank you very much, and thank you for attending this today's session, and see you the next session. Okay. If it would allow me to be your for me to be your instructor that session as well. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you around. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Bye bye. So thank you very much for watching. So I am Amandiel D. Samar from Section A, and that is my actual teaching. Thank you very much.